Before the Constitution, before the titles and the marble statues, there were two men. One young and steadfast, the other old and full of light. George Washington and Benjamin Franklin seldom fought side by side, yet their lives met at the very heart of the American story. When Washington was still an unknown soldier on the frontier, Franklin was already a legend. He had charted lightning from the sky, printed words that shaped thought, and built bridges between science and society. To Washington, Franklin represented what a free mind could accomplish. To Franklin, Washington would soon represent what a free people could become. They met through letters and assemblies, through the slow hum of colonial life turning toward destiny. Franklin was twice Washington's age, but he saw in the Virginian officer something rare: discipline without arrogance, ambition without vanity. And Washington saw in Franklin the embodiment of wisdom, the kind that smiled at human folly yet never stopped believing in improvement. During the years of rising tension with Britain, Franklin worked abroad, trying to reason with a world that would not listen. Washington, at home, watched the storm build. When the time for words passed and the colonies turned to arms, it was Franklin, the philosopher, who helped persuade Congress that Washington should lead the new army. The old man recognized that the revolution would need not only ideas, but endurance. Years later, as the conflict raged, Franklin served in Europe, gathering allies and resources, while Washington held a fragile line on cold fields. They worked an ocean apart, one with pen and diplomacy, the other with resolve and silence. Together they became symbols of intellect and integrity, two halves of the same purpose. When the war finally ended and independence was secured, both men carried the weight of what came next. Franklin, grey and frail, returned home after years abroad. Washington longed for peace but was drawn once again into leadership as the young republic struggled to define itself. Their final partnership came in Philadelphia, within the walls of the Constitutional Convention. There, Washington presided with solemn restraint while Franklin, aged and often in pain, offered humor and calm counsel to weary delegates. Franklin's wit softened tempers that might have broken the fragile Union. Washington's presence reminded everyone that dignity must guide ambition. They understood one another without many words, discipline and wisdom side by side. When the Constitution was complete, Franklin looked toward Washington and said, "Now you have a rising sun." The general bowed slightly, understanding the meaning. For all their differences, one guided by science, the other by faith in order. They shared a belief that a people could govern themselves if they balanced courage with conscience. Soon after, Franklin's long life came to its quiet close, and Washington stood alone at the dawn of the new republic. Yet he often spoke of Franklin with deep respect, calling him a friend to mankind and a master of reason. Their friendship was not born of long conversations or shared campaigns. It was born of recognition, each seeing in the other the qualities he lacked in himself. Franklin's mind illuminated what Washington's discipline built. Together they left behind more than a country. They left a model that wisdom and steadiness, joined in purpose, can shape the course of history.